And now, Minion Works presents Freelance Heroism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, I just want to say thank you to our patrons out there. In particular, people who donate at the producer tier. You help us make a better show for everyone out there. So just a big round of applause to them. Rachel, would you like to tell us their names?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Rebecca, Mo Walker, Chris Deeds, Chris Sones, Christopher Hildebrand, The Minion Works, Ario Teabaggin, Orient_Tiger, and Breakmeister. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rachel.
Yes.
You just had to change a power supply in your computer. I want to talk about this because it's fun.
Okay.
Your computer was doing some weird shit during your editing, so you had to change out the power supply. On a fluke, you just had a cool one, like a really good one, just kind of sitting around in the closet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me, I want to know, because you said earlier you were feeling you're feeling something. Why don't you explain to me what you were feeling as you were plugging in cables of electricity?
Very stressed out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like panic?
Yes.
What were you afraid was going to happen? I'm curious.
That I was going to mess up and then lose everything that was in my computer.
Like you were going to flip a switch and the thing was just going to like explode or shoot smoke or something.
Yeah, I would plug in the wrong thing, and then when I go to turn on my computer, it like shorts out and fries everything.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Unplug thing, plug new thing in. I mean, you didn't change any parts, right? You just sort of took the plugs out, put a new plug in.
Yes.
Right. My favorite part, because I was sort of tertiarily connected. My favorite part is when I told you to look for the 4-pin connector, and you're like, it only has this one. I'm like, yeah, you have to split that in part. And you're like, break it? I'm like, no, don't break it. Just pull it apart. I don't want you getting like a fucking steak knife and like carving off some headers. Yeah, that was funny to me. She's like,
I didn't
break
know they
it?
did that.
No. Don't break it.
Well,
Yeah.
Like splitting was like some sort of weird computer tech term that I'd never heard of before.
It's like when two things are together and you pull them apart, you split
But
them.
I didn't know if it would have been something else in computer
like
terms.
Like a technical term. It's like hey, have you ever done long division before? You have two apples. If you put them on other sides of the room, that's splitting. But I just thought it was funny. There was like a level of like urgency. You're like, oh my god, I don't think it's gonna fit. I'm like, well, it's a standard ATX. It'll fit. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I think it will.
Like, it's not.
You should try it. Yeah. I mean, so yours is modular though. You're for people who don't know, the difference between a regular power supply and a modular power supply is that a regular power supply has a billion fucking cables exploding out of the side of it. Right? So it's like, it looks like a jellyfish with like electricity cables hanging out the back, right?
Right.
While yours, you had to like plug in whichever cables you need, which I imagine is really nice.
It was, yes.
Yeah. I tried to skimp and save, and so I went out and got one that wasn't modular, thinking I can do some cable management. Come on. And then it got here and it had like 45 fucking cables.
Oh,
I was like, oh my god. So, but I finally got them tucked away, but it took a long time. So it was cool to see you do it in a 50th of the time that it took me. That was nice.
And be 50 times more stressed out as well.
Yeah. I mean, is your first time doing it, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. But now you've done it, so the second time you do it, you probably won't be as nervous, right?
I don't want to ever do it again.
To change, you plugged 3 things in.
I don't want to mess with the guts of my computer. It stresses me out so much.
You have to clean it too.
That also stresses me out.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to do it, otherwise your shit's gonna like. Can you imagine how slow your fan was moving with all that cat hair? Just like slowly rotating like the back of an old riverboat. Ugh. Do I put motor oil in it? I'm like, no, just don't touch the computer. Let me do it. Don't touch that. But it was good. You did a good job on your first computer repair.
Thank you.
Right. It was amazing that you just had a fucking badass power supply just chilling.
It's That's been like in the box for like a couple years.
Like a fucking 80+ platinum, 750 watt modular power supply, just chilling in my living room.
Yep.
Like, all right.
Actually, I had it in my kitchen for like 2 years, just like
Why wouldn't you have it in your kitchen?
right beside the Keurig that I never use.
I was drinking water right as you said it. That's funny. Oh, but that was pretty good. You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, no problem. On the other hand, I have a package that has been. I finally tracked it down. By the way.
Oh.
So okay, so for those who don't know I don't know why you guys would know the backstory of mail that I've ordered. So let me just tell you the backstory because that'll be easier for everyone. I ordered a package. It came from Forsyth, Georgia. That's like a short walk from my house. I could literally get there in 4 hours on foot. Right?
Uh-huh.
Not very far. It has been 8 days. Shit is ridiculous. Okay, so they sent it to this city called Macon, Georgia, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it went from Forsyth to Macon to Augusta, which is right next door to where my city is, right?
Yeah.
It's literally like the one that touches it. Things all the time go to Augusta and then get delivered to my house.
Mhm.
That's how close it is. Well, unfortunately, whoever was in Augusta decided to send it back to Macon because, why not? Why wouldn't you send a
no.
package back and forth amongst two cities multiple times? So then Macon gets it again, and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't going here. This is going to Augusta. So they sent it back to Augusta, right? This is the second time it's traveled from Macon to Augusta.
Mhm.
Augusta's like, dude, we just sent you this package. Why are you sending it back, bro? So they sent it back to Macon. Okay. Now, I have to put in a complaint because it's been in Macon for 2 days,
Uh-huh.
right? Thinking, where am I going? Because I've juggled this between two cities. I complain with the meanest letter I've written in 10 years.
Uh-oh.
Just horribly rude. Real shit. Gangster shit in this fucking complaint to the
Okay.
USPS. And then all of a sudden it appears in Grovetown. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're lying to me, but sure. I'll accept it. So we'll see.
Mhm.
If it ends back up in Macon, I'm going to burn a building down. I don't know how else to help. I'm just going to burn one to the fucking ground. I don't even random. I'm just going to randomly pick one.
Oh.
So Build-A-Bear workshop is going up in flames. Ugh.
In like 3 days, there's going to be a news report of arson. In...
A $14 computer part was shipped back and forth, causing a man to go on a wild spree. Our nation's teddy bears are mourning. I don't know what else to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
How's Baldur's Gate?
I haven't played it.
Why?
Well, I played it when it first came out. I played it for days and days.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Nate played it and it was great.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed to talk to you about it because you're a jerk. Because you're a jerk. And so, I'm not allowed, not because you're a jerk, because you haven't got it yet and you're going to get it soon, and then I should just be patient and all that shit.
Yes.
But it's really good. I threw an apple at a guy. It was fun because of that. But yeah, it's great. And I would love to play it multiplayer, and I would like to play it, the entire way through. But unfortunately, right now, kind of my mind's focused on a bunch of other things and work, but I'll get back to it. Especially once we can all multiplayer. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a bad guy in our good people's group.
Oh,
and just see how you guys deal with it. I can't. That's a spoiler. Never mind. It was a joke, but it's only funny if you know the thing, Wait, it was in the trailer. Does that count? Is that a spoiler if it's in the trailer?
I don't think so.
It's not a spoiler if it's in the trailer?
No.
One of the characters is a vampire. Do you know which one it is?
One of the characters is a vampire?
It's in every gameplay. It was the first demo they did. The playthrough. It's like in the opening 5 minutes. They tell you that
I
he's a
haven't watched
vampire.
any of the playthroughs. The only trailer I've seen is the Mind Flayer one.
Oh, that's the opening. Yeah, okay. But they've talked about it a million times. It's
You
part of his
spoiled
character.
it for me again.
It's part of his character bio. You said it wasn't a spoiler. It was in all the trailers.
You said trailer.
He's burying
You said
his
it was a
fangs in the
trailer, and then
picture.
you're like, in the gameplay video. Like, that's not a trailer.
It was. It was in the game release.
The gameplay?
Yeah, it was when
That's
they
not a
demoed
trailer.
Everyone knows about it. He's bearing his fangs in one of the pictures. So, if you don't know it, then, I mean, just pay attention harder, I guess. Everyone else knows it. It's not a surprise. It's not a secret.
Not
Anyway.
now, because you've been blabbing to everybody.
Everyone
about it.
fucking knows. It's very obvious.
You're going around telling everybody some dude's a vampire.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. So he was in my group, and so I'm sitting there with all. I won't tell you who it is. You'll know right away. It will not be hidden.
Is he goth?
Yeah. Yeah, the way he talks, you're just gonna be like, that's him.
Okay.
You'll know right away. I'm thinking about plausible deniability. If you know somebody's a vampire and you're like thinking about it, you're like, as soon as you meet him, you're like, that's him. That's him. Anyway, so I had him in a group, and I had just looted a bunch of stuff, and I was kind of sorting out my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was moving things over, I was like keeping all the scrolls on this guy, all the keys on my main character so I can kind of open doors and stuff. And then I had vegetables. And so I was just like, I don't know, you eat them for whatever, so I'll just throw a couple on different people, right? So I just randomly drugged some over to a person. Then I clicked on one, and it was garlic, like a clove of garlic.
Oh, no.
And I held it over his picture, and I dropped it in his inventory, and then I closed out my menu, and I looked, and he didn't react weird or say anything, and I was like, So I took control of his character, and then I right-clicked on it, and I was like, is he saying anything? No. And I clicked eat, and nothing bad happened to him.
Okay.
But I was so ready for there to be a fucking problem. He's like, oh, I won't eat that. I'm very allergic, or something funny like that. But he just ate it.
No.
He just ate a clove of garlic, as
Like
we
an
all
apple.
do. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny. You can probably clip all the vampire stuff out if you think it really is a spoiler, even though it was in the gameplay thing at the beginning.
No, I guess not.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but Jesus Christ, I want to talk to someone about it. That's why I need a robot friend. A robot friend who plays all the games when they first come out. And knows all the cheat codes.
Do they still do cheat codes in video games?
Some of them. I think Grand Theft Auto still does them.
Oh.
I think they do them like ceremonially. Like, who gives a shit about those things? My neighbor used to know all the fatalities for Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
I think it was Mortal Kombat 2. And he used to play it all the time. He was this little nerdy kid named Tommy, and he weighed like 9 pounds. He was like 15, right? Or 14 or something like that. But he was tiny, tiny, tiny. Like my mic stand looks like his shadow, right?
Okay.
Just a narrow motherfucker is what I'm saying. Like his arm was straight, and then it would bulb out where his joints were.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like a spider knuckle, like a, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, but he used to sit in his house all the time and play Mortal Kombat, and he would know like everything, like all of the at the time, like we didn't have the internet, so knowing all of those meant that you got like a Prima guide, and you just memorized, like you were it was like a class.
Yeah.
You had to study.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew everything, like all of them. And so I used to go over there and I'd beat the shit out of him in the actual game. But if he ever did win, he'd finish the shit out of me. And every time I would have to finish him, I knew like one on my favorite character. And I get like the timing wrong. I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. That sort of like codes the fatalities. It doesn't do anything other than be rude.
Yeah.
Like a elaborate teabag in a first-person shooter. Yeah.
I guess.
Is
Well,
this the kind of intro you guys like? This rambling nonsense.
I guess on that note, do you want to go to this week's episode?
I think we better before
Yeah.
we run out of topics.
Okay. Well, this is episode 3 of The Mask and the Mechanism.
Woo! Episode time. What else do you want to plug in on your computer?
Nothing.
You want to... You're going to set it on fire. So what's the plan, Stan?
Well,
Go for it. I was going to say we could. The map here says that we can get around this place without having to like rappel down or anything like that. So I'm thinking maybe we should just head back out and go back down to that room the natural way where that light's coming from, as opposed to dropping into the darkness. But it's a family vacation. Democracy rules, I suppose.
Is that how family vacations work?
No, not at all. But
Okay. I'm going to say, my family never went on
kids
vacation.
get in the car. We're going now.
Yes, we can walk around.
We pull into McDonald's,
Yes.
and their dad, Odd, gets a plain black coffee and then leaves.
Oh, the John Mulaney.
Leave you kids in McDonald land. Yeah, I guess we'll go down to that little hallway down there at the southeastern corner of 1R.
Okay. Anyone wearing metal armor? Just out of curiosity. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I know.
I like asking these weird questions.
Oh yeah, because like I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to try and stealth, and I'm going to be fucked.
Okay, so you guys have decided to go back into the room you came into.
Yep.
Correct? And then down towards that forward doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to come to a split that goes left and right. Which way are you going?
We would turn right and head into the other corridor between 1P and 1Q.
Right. And then which way shall you go from there?
Well, at that point, what do I see if I look down towards 1P?
1P.
It's the bathroom.
Yeah, that's where you have to take 1P. It looks like a bunch. Well, roll me a perception if you're not actually going to approach it.
21.
Okay. Rachel,
God damn.
you can see that there seem to be a bunch of bodies of what seem to be smaller people kind of strewn about.
Oh.
But without getting any closer, it'd be difficult for you to determine what or who they are.
There's some bodies over there.
My interest is now piqued.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get these cataracts checked.
That's not the only thing you need to check.
The mine shaft!
Ow!
Sorry. Can I make jokes as the DM? Am I allowed to do that? I don't know the rules.
You're the DM. You make the rules.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tuna cans.
I guess. Do we hear anything? Or
you hear water pretty much everywhere, and like echoey drips of water that sort of echo throughout.
All right. Yeah. Let's go take a look. I mean, do you want to lead the way?
Yeah, I'll take lead on this one.
All right.
I reach in my pack and I pull out a crowbar.
Okay. Is it shaped like a crow?
No, but on one end I wrote A, on the other end I wrote B.
Okay.
Slowly creep down the hallway.
Okay. It doesn't look like you need to sneak.
All right.
Everything here seems dead.
All right.
As you get closer, you can roll an investigation check. Anyone who wants to take a look around.
All right. 13.
Everyone else?
22.
18.
All right. D-Walk, sorry. It looks like dead short people.
All right, cool.
The two of you with your trained eye kind of look at this and can realize that these are goblins. And it looks like they were a group of them that maybe had come here to raid. You don't know exactly how they got in. You don't know if they came in the same way you got in or if they had come in through some other entrance somewhere. But it looks like they've been here for a minute because the flesh on them is sort of worn away.
Can I make a medicine check to see how long I think they've been dead?
Medicine would be weird. I think maybe a better way to do it would be
nature.
Give me a flat intelligence check.
Well, that's going to be flat. 14.
No, probably not. Sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to work with you.
But not dead yesterday.
No, they've been here for a minute. Rachel, your investigation shows that their flesh has been worn away. Like, they're mostly skeletons and gear at this point. And you don't know if it's because they were picked clean or if just because of the nature of being somewhere so moist like this or damp or whatever, that just the rot would be quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Or if even that the running water comes through here has sort of eroded the bodies over time. But it would be difficult for you to get an exact timeline. But for sure, these were goblins and their raiding party. They have really crappy weapons and stuff like that have already, like the stone heads of what look like hatchets have been sort of worn away.
Okay.
So you can maybe discern that it seems like over a long period of time, little bits of water have sort of kind of ripped things away. But the tops of them look okay-ish. Talking about like clothing and stuff like that hasn't,
If we get to the end of this and time is moving faster inside of this temple, and that's why the bodies have rotted so much.
I still started a year younger than all you motherfuckers extra. Ha!
Rachel's got a sort of like a leg up on figuring out what's going on because she knows how much I like time travel.
Yeah.
She just like applies a time travel filter over everything that she's interpreting, and sometimes she'll get there. Like more often than maybe she should. Maybe I should cover my tracks a little better, but time travel is a thing.
That's my current theory, is that time moves faster here. These goblins have just been decaying faster than they would otherwise.
Okay.
I start kind of setting up one of the goblin bodies, kind of like a golfing tee with the head, and while they're investigating, I lean back with their crowbar and whack.
As you go to lift one up, it just they're not connected anymore. They're like bones and clothes, which is how I would open a clothing store.
So can I launch a skull with a crowbar like a golf club?
Yeah, man, you do whatever you want.
Oh fuck yeah! All right, that's what I do then.
Other than the goblin bodies.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. D-Walk, where are you standing when you hit the head with the crowbar?
About middle of the room.
Middle of the room? Okay. That's fair.
Aiming back towards the hallway with it.
Actually, roll a strength check since you're going to hit it, and you tell me what you roll.
Flat 13.
13, no bonuses?
No.
You don't have the golf skill? Okay.
I'm a dexterity. Oh, no, okay, I can't even say that. I'm a pretty intelligent guy, but besides that, not shit.
You keep using that word. I don't know that it means what you think it means.
Well,
Dad, you're getting old. You don't know what you're talking about anymore.
You're not going to make too much noise. You hit the thing and it kind of stays in the perimeter of where you're at.
All right.
But you did get a good crack on it. You got some good distance, but it's more like a putt than it was a drive.
I just get this envision that he does this thing and he like throws his hands up in the air and he makes the fake crowd noise and everything and then turns around to find me and Callie just looking at him slack-jawed.
You idiot.
What the hell are you doing?
So I want to know about how many goblins are in here. Just a rough estimate of how many bodies. Are there bodies of anything other than goblins in here?
Just goblins here.
Just goblins.
Just goblins. It looks like they came here as a raiding party. They had their weapons drawn when they were killed.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were sort of didn't look like they were sleeping or anything and got snuck up on.
Okay.
It looks like they were very aware of what was happening. But blood and guts and wounds would have been dissipated at this point.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
How many goblins?
Between 8 and 10, though some of them, the parts are sort of separated. So you're going to estimate between 8 and 10, which is, as far as you understand it, the basic amount of a small raiding party. Like the type they would send into a small fishing village or something like that to kidnap a dog.
Are they
for breakfast?
Are they scattered all over the room, or are they all kind of like huddled in one corner, like they're making a final stand? Are they
Okay, so unless I specify otherwise, all of these are open area,
Mhm.
right? So there are no walls. There's like a sort of, think of like a bowl. It has like a high rim around it, but you can still see over the edge and stuff like that. They seem scattered about, but they're kind of all over the room. It looked like maybe if you were to warrant a guess, you'd probably imagine that they were engaged in combat with something or multiple somethings, or that it was ganking one of them and then moving to another location and ganking them and moving to another location, and they had to sort of follow. So
Mhm.
hard to tell with this much time between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else of note in this room?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, we got a bunch of dead goblins. It's probably worth keeping in the back of our minds for now.
Mhm.
Or the front of your butthole, wherever you want to keep it, just hold on to it. You got to get them through customs. They're not going to let you bring
Yes.
goblin bones through customs. You got to store them up that butt.
Thresh Keister that information. Yeah, I guess if there's
after
nothing
9/11, they test you for everything. Jesus. Let me take my goblin bones.
I saw this catalog where you could order like goblin at butthole scrunchies. Fucking best shit
Nice.
ever.
Nice. These fucking fads are getting
out of hand, yeah. I guess I'll turn and start making my way over to 1Q, back through that hallway, and then kind of around the corner.
okie doke. As you approach 1Q, you can see 1T pretty well, that room. This is a sort of a square shape, and it has sort of a lift in the middle. It's not like a full pedestal, but it looks like it was up maybe like a half step, and then kind of like a plateau
So
in the middle.
just a raised stage in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, like maybe where people might have sat or performed or maybe issued orders or given a sermon or whatever.
No furniture?
No furniture, just completely empty. It looks like they're very minimalist from what you've seen. But what you can see from IQ is into IS.
Mm-hmm.
That little strip is an open section, almost like a bridge. But then that other part is actually a enclosed area. It's actually like a roof, and walls and alcoves and whatnot.
Okay.
From inside, you see a bright green. It sort of flickers like what you would imagine a torch would look like.
Okay. I'm curious to check out 1T first before heading into 1S.
Okay.
Looks like there's a small doorway. I'm just going to walk up to it and peer inside.
It's open area. This is all
it's
open
still
area.
okay.
Yeah. As you walk into that area, you can see that it's sort of like the overhang that you'd walked out on in most of these open rooms, like where you found the goblins, except for that the far edge that sort of goes off into the chasm has broken bits off of the edge of the wall. It looked like they had been knocked in or pulled down. If you want to roll an investigation check, you might be able to get more info.
That's halfway decent. 17.
17 is good. It looks like whatever had broken the wall had not pushed it in and left pieces about, but it looks like it had pulled it down, maybe into what's underneath.
Okay. But again, just a completely empty room otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise. From your basic, like just looking at it, sort of like the shape of it, it looks like it's pretty intact. It doesn't look like there's any parts that are missing. But for sure, something maybe did something to the edge, and it had fallen down below. There's like where there was normally a ridge of sort of a elevated on any of these like balcony areas. They sort of have like a walkway that then is surrounded by higher, like a half wall. That's not there on that side. But it does follow the same sort of high wall all the way around the other parts of it, just not there. So
Okay.
that's what I would imagine your first interpretation of that.
Sure.
Would be.
Okay. Well, Callie, you said you saw a light down that hallway. I suppose maybe we should go check that out.
All right.
As you get sort of in line with that walkway, it's very, very bright, and you can tell it's fire. It's bright green.
Is it identical to the green that's on the end of Thresh's?
Same color.
Same color. Okay.
Maybe Thresh should go ahead of us since he has the green fire.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Of course you do. Here you go. I'll walk ahead.
Okay.
Come on, son. That's a portal. That's your thing.
Oh.
Go do it.
Let's do it.
As you approach closer, you get inside the interior of a room. You can feel the heat. It is a wall of flame that is green. It sort of ripples like a tide, kind of appearing really aggressively in some areas and then not in others. Sort of like you would watch a flame kind of lift, but in a flat surface. In the bits where it's not maybe as aggressive, you can see through to the other side, and you can see behind it is a blue luminescence. And then if you peer really hard at just the right moment, the other side has a red wall as well.
I take the green torch and I slowly touch the green with it.
As it does, the fire has dissipated. The wall of flame is gone. And your torch is still lit.
Okay. And you
Everyone
said
roll
it was
perception for me real quick.
13.
21, finally.
Hey.
9.
No, sorry. You're not paying attention.
I'm not.
Nate, you can see a shadowy figure on the other side of the next two walls of fire. There's a blue one and a red one. And as they sort of flicker over each other, there's moments for just a split second where you can see a shadowy figure on the other side.
So just so I understand what's happening here, in 1S, you've got those little alcoves on the north and south side. So basically, there's a flame across each one of those.
Right.
Okay, so then there's about a 15 by 20 foot space on the other side, and that's where I see the shadowy figure.
Right.
Size?
So let me read this description. I didn't read it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
3 walls composed of radiant flame burn before your path. Through their luminous flickering light, that you've got the perception, is a shadowy form standing and observing your movements.
So do I pick out a silhouette? Can I make out, does it look humanoid? Does it
It's
look
humanoid.
big, medium, tiny?
Average type.
And it's just standing there.
Yep.
It's not moving?
It's not moving, but it does look like it's for a second with such a high perception, you were able to sort of determine that it looks like it's staring at you.
Okay. There's something on the other side of those flames. I think now I will use Detect Evil, or Divine Sense, rather. See if I can pick up anything by that.
Any holy, or is it just good or evil?
You can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn, sense anything affected by the spell or know the location, etc., etc. So it's good and evil.
Doesn't it also cover undead and demonic and shit?
Yeah, I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Okay. Well, here's what you notice. It is a radiant good from the other side.
Interesting. Radiant good is in my wheelhouse.
It's I don't know if you can necessarily feel whether something is very good or less good. I don't know how it works like that, but I'm going to go ahead and judgment call that you can feel this is a very good.
I don't get the sense it's going to kill me. That's the important thing.
Yeah, well, you don't know that.
Well,
you can't. It
doesn't have the intent of killing me. Maybe
you don't know that either.
Well, generally I would put that in the evil category, but
well, I mean, would you say that killing somebody who's breaking into your home, would you consider that evil? Would you consider that good? See, that's what I mean, is that based on perception, good and evil is...
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're getting at.
You don't
The
know,
next,
you motherfucker.
that's right. The next flame is blue, right?
Yes.
I will touch that with my cobalt blue torch.
And it disappears. The shadowy figure takes a step back.
So it is animate. I don't know if it's alive, but it's animate.
Okay, Pops. You sure you're seeing anything, dude? Your eyes haven't been working since we got in here.
No,
You guys can
no.
roll a perception at this point, and it's a much easier check now that there's less stuff in between.
19.
You see it.
22.
Sure. Yep, you both see it.
Holy shit! Pop saw something.
And it's just humanoid shaped?
It's a humanoid, shadowy figure from where you're at. You are looking through a bright light of fire.
I wave at it.
Okay.
Does it respond?
It's not standing perfectly still. It's sort of like moving a little bit, but
okay.
It's not waving.
Okay, so it doesn't respond to... Okay.
I look over. Do you speak common?
And it holds up a shadowy middle finger. No, kidding.
Oh, it is definitely fucking holy.
Callie, go ahead and touch your torch and then step back.
All right.
I quickly slink behind Dad's armor.
I'm going to ready an action. I've got my hand on my longsword hilt in case this thing decides to charge us for whatever reason. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just...
It might charge you twice, and then not refund the second one.
Well, son of a bitch. Stupid refund policy.
I will step forward and touch my torch to the wall of fire.
As expected, the wall dissipates. You don't need to roll a perception here because that figure is no longer there.
Well, that's interesting. Just an empty room behind it?
It's like another one of those overlooks.
But yeah, okay.
The back side of it is open. It's still got a roof all the way out, but sort of like it would be like a big open bay window at the end.
So if I step up to that edge, I'd be able to see the walkway that goes between 1G and 1M.
Yep.
Is it below, I assume, slightly?
It is.
Okay. But it's not like the figure jumped over that railing and hauled ass. It just disappeared the minute she touched it?
When you touch the flame to the other wall of flame, it creates a bright flash and then is gone.
So
almost like using up the last of its fuel before dissipating.
Okay.
So in the fractions of the second where that happened, it was no longer there, or no longer visible.
Okay, so really,
everyone can roll a perception here. It's been a minute, so go ahead and roll. Nope.
18.
Hey, you got the good score. Duok.
Thresh is just looking off into space.
Okay. Rachel.
Uh-huh.
You've got both of the perceptions. You cleared both, so you notice a small shadow creep in the periphery of your vision. That's the first one. Upon kind of focusing on it for a little longer because your perception was so high, you observe this is a small rodent, a mouse, dashing across the floor and into a small crack in the stone before disappearing completely from your sight. It ran right past you. You caught it as it was sort of like running towards where the walls of flame used to be, up that hallway. You kind of noticed it. It's really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it gets to about where IQ is, like in that walkway wall, it kind of gets into the stone and then is gone. But you're certain it was a mouse.
So when you say, like, when you call it a shadow, do you mean it's something actually made of shadow, or it's just like...
It didn't look like it was made of shadow when it was running from you.
Okay.
The other figure, you couldn't really determine. It was too far away. It was behind whatever. This looked like just a mouse.
Yeah, but a mouse could also be a wizard's familiar or something like that. I'll mention it to...
Or it could be Meat Nugget. He just wants to be friends with Ray. He wants to get in on the game.
AD, is that a game? Dragon Age at all?
I played Dragon Age, yeah.
All right.
I'm not going to tell you answers to things.
No,
clever about it and ask it in video game. I'm still not going to tell you.
All right.
I'll mention the mouse to them.
Okay.
Can I go over where it disappeared and
Yeah.
let's see if there's anything?
Yeah, I'll follow suit.
It looks like where rocks kind of come together to make cobblestone. In this type of area, over a long period of time, cracks form. Animals can get in and out. Looks like a mouse just kind of escaped in through like a crack in some of the stone masonry.
Mhm.
You want to try to go after it?
Yes.
We're gonna question this
gonna-
motherfucking mouse.
Punch through the wall and grab the mouse and pull it out.
Shrink.
Do you want to try that?
No.
I mean, you got a pretty good path on him. You knew where he went.
No, I think, while it could just be this is an old temple, and wildlife has started to reclaim it, it could also be the familiar of someone and it's going to report back to them.
Could be.
I kind of look at them stupid because I don't realize they're actually following a mouse. They're just looking at a hole in the floor.
Well,
That was
this
uneventful.
well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think we should keep these torches handy. We may run into something like this later on down the line.
On the clearly visible map with the same arrangement. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, because that side's open, you can also see on the other side, across the way.
Yep.
A flicker of light there. So it's not too far a stretch for you to think, hey.
It's worth keeping these
Yeah.
on hand. Okay.
On our torches, have the flames gone down at all?
No,
Or
they
they
seem
still-
like they're burning maybe a little brighter.
Okay.
I mean, it's not super noticeable, but
Well,
Hmm.
looks like we got to head south to get across.
I'm going to go back and check the room we came in, and I'll meet you guys as you guys go south.
you're right,
Okay.
David.
I got a hypothesis.
Split the party.
All right.
Splitting up parties over here.
All right.
Well, let's head on down to this room here, this IO.
If something attacks you while we're gone and it kills you, I'm going to turn your bedroom into a personal gym later.
What the fuck would
So-
she do that?
Tell me where you guys are at real quick.
The horror.
Where you guys are staging your
Well, so I'm assuming that Callie and I are going to head down to the split hallway there to head south towards towards 1O.
right.
And Thresh
We're
is going to make a
back to
left turn to
IR.
go back to 1R, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do Thresh first because that'll be a good idea. Okay, Thresh. These are gonna overlap. So in the amount of time it would take you to go to IR, let's see what you do, and then I'll give you a turn
All right.
estimate.
I'll go back to the three braziers
Okay.
that were originally there. Then notice the torch is getting brighter. Do the braziers get brighter as well?
They seem the same. They seem like they're as dwindled as they were when you guys got here.
All right. Hypothesis fail. I was expecting possibly they use the magic from one area to lock others, and as you deactivate the magic, it would feed back to its original source.
Yeah, like a well kind of
Mhm.
deal. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
won't
not
work.
that you can discern.
All right.
So since you just got in there and looked, we'll say one turn for you to get up
That's
there,
fine.
one turn to get back. So
That's fine.
two turns. Okay, back to you two. Are you continuing your path towards 1O?
Yeah, I think when we get down to that sort of short hallway that runs parallel to the room, I'll just kind of take a peek around the corner first before just walking in.
It's one of the open areas.
Okay,
But-
so it's still all open. Okay.
Yeah. Most of these are sort of like bridges, kind of vibe.
Gotcha.
This has one of the high walls,
Okay.
so you can't really see perfectly into it, but you can kind of see that there is some sort of liquid from where your vantage point is. You can see sort of a liquid in here.
In the hallway or the bridge?
No,
or
in the room. If you were like on the bridge, if you were to look up,
down. Oh,
you can
okay.
see kind of deeper into the room of
Mhm.
IO or
Mhm.
1O.
Mhm.
And in there you can see sort of you can sort of see what looks to be some sort of liquid. You can't really identify it. It's dark.
Okay.
And these low walls don't have the lighting pearls that the that the high wall rooms do.
Okay.
So
But
you're
if-
kind of living off torchlight here.
Right. But I mean, if we walk through that bridge to where it actually connects into IO, at that point, are we going to be in the liquid?
Yeah, I mean, if you walk into the room with the liquid, you would walk into liquid.
Okay, but I mean, the liquid just stops right at that entryway.
It sort of descends down into like a bowl.
Okay. That's okay. Got it.
Sorry
All
about
right.
that.
No, okay. I was just trying to figure out how that worked. Okay, so I
keep in mind though that you can tell the elevation isn't that much different. So you're.
Okay.
I don't want to add context. So okay.
No, that's fine. But okay. So I'd say we'll get right up to the where the liquid is, and then what do we see as we get a better vantage point?
Okay. You can tell that's not water. It appears to be some sort of mucus almost. The stones underfoot become slick with a mucousy film, making it hard to get a confident foothold. This is just even on the bridge on the way up. It seems like there's sort of like a mucus or a sludge kind of slime.
Yeah.
It's translucent, kind of see-through, but the thicker it gets, the more gray and kind of green it feels like it's getting.
Do I see any remains, like a bone here, or like?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
That would be something I would have described to you. But
Okay.
it just looks like maybe that's why it isn't running off over the edge or anything.
It's viscous.
Because it's sort of thick and has some cohesion to it.
Okay.
It's a non-Newtonian mouth fluid.
Fantastic. All right, but basically, as we get to there's basically just a bowl full of this stuff, right?
A bowl is maybe. I was just trying to illustrate that these rooms have lips around them, but not necessarily. It's not like a fucking ball pit.
Okay.
It is just sort of like a slow step down into what is the normal room. It just tends to have some gunk on it. Makes it kind of slippery.
Okay.
And you're still on the walkway. As you approach, you haven't actually entered the room.
Right. I'd like to take out my rope,
Okay.
and I'd like to slowly lower one end of the rope into the fluid. I want to gauge how deep that is.
It is not very deep at all. Like,
Okay, so
not even. I mean, as soon as the rope touches, it goes maybe like a quarter inch.
it's just a thin film.
Yeah. It's like
So I can actually see the floor through it, or is it opaque?
It's still kind of opaque. I think this
Okay.
is going to be a really gross description, but I feel like it's going to get us there.
Okay.
Okay. You ever be really sick and cough up sort of like a gunky?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
But think of it as like dark,
Sure.
like a grayish green almost.
But it's not necessarily a pool as much as it is just a film coating the floor.
Yeah, it's like something like someone spilled a bunch of KY jelly into
Gotcha.
their soot.
Is there anything like dripping into this?
Nope.
room? Like
No, it
what's
seems
making
pretty. It's more thick than I think we're imagining. Maybe KY was a bad example. Think more like a half melted jelly or jello.
Oh.
Okay.
But what you need to be careful of is that when you take a foot and you place it down on the ground, you kind of feel like, you ever been in the shower when soapy water kind of gets to the ground? You kind of feel that you're not
Yep.
slipping, but it's something to be mindful of.
Sure.
Okay.
My descriptions are fucking weird. I write like an artful description, and then I describe it with boogers because that's how I feel it. You know? That's how I feel the feel.
You're in a tunnel filled with KY jelly.
And boogers and melted
And-
jello,
Yes.
which I think probably made the point better than any of this. So whatever.
Yeah, add your own minors and shaft joke here. So are we able to tell, so there's another, I'm assuming that's a bridge or a walkway that leads out towards the west.
Where are you standing?
I'm like
when
right,
you're looking.
I'm right in that little 5-foot square in between the hallway or the bridge and the room.
Okay, everyone roll. D-Walk, you're pretty close. Everyone roll a perception.
Nope.
What'd you get? It's pretty low.
6.
7.
14.
That's correct. D-Walk, you're the only one that hears. This is insanity. This is so crazy because you're actually, maybe it's an echo or something. Okay. I don't know how to explain it. you'd think that you guys are maybe just so entranced by the goo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right, Dewok. An uproarious groan sounds off in the distance. A guttural howl that continues into an echoey series of clicks. After a moment, another begins and joins the first. Soon, a cacophony of clacketing sounds begins to come from all around you, and after a moment, a deafening silence.
I stop in my tracks and just kind of eerie, just start looking around us.
That was for a person that would have been in the room. So let me maybe modify it for you. Okay.
Okay.
You hear it off in the direction that they are. Right?
All right.
You can hear that in that area. It's all over. It kind of, maybe it's because you're far away. So it kind of, the echoes from underneath the platform or around the platform or off of some sort of wall that you're next to. You hear it pretty clearly. And if you want to roll a nature check, I can tell you more.
12.
Sounds like a toad or a frog or something like that, but you don't know.
I feel a whole lot calmer now, though.
Yeah.
So, I message them ahead.
Okay.
Or I message Callie. Yo, when's the last time Dad ate? Because I'm hearing some like nasty fucking belly girls from up that way.
I don't know what you're talking about, but get over here.
You guys didn't hear that nice little rolls and clackety clackety shit?
Who are you talking to in particular?
Thrush.
No. Who is he brain chatting with?
Callie, mentally.
Okay. Callie, you can roll another perception check after he makes a mention of it.
20.
Okay. Rachel, you hear the clickety clackety now. For whatever reason, you were just focused on something else and didn't hear it, but now it's very obvious that it kind of comes up like a wave and then stops for a second. You got a pretty high perception. So as you look around into this sort of area, you can see little, what almost appear as bubbles at first. They're yellow or they're black, and they always kind of come up in pairs. After a moment, you can tell that they look like eyes, and they're coming up kind of through the muck to peer at you.
Okay. I will point them out to my dad.
Okay, go ahead and roll your perception again. Actually, yeah, you got it, but there's going to be a thing that happens first. Okay. So give me a second.
All right, I'll hold on to that 19.
Yeah, well, it's going to go off as soon as this goes off.
Frogs begin to explode as if they were placed on hot plates.
Rachel, I need you to roll a strength check. Or a dex check. You can choose which one you want to roll. I'll let you roll both and choose whichever's better.
I would like Dex.
Okay.
19.
19 is good. A frog, a massive, like, sort of thick-bodied toad that's about, I don't know, 4 feet wide, sort of jumps at you from out of the gunk. Now you notice it, Nate. You notice that.
Yeah, I think I would.
Anyone that has a nature roll that wants to roll it can identify it with pretty simple. You guys have seen these before, I'm assuming. No?
I got a 5.
Hey. Okay, Rachel, you don't know what a frog is or a toad.
I don't know.
Nate, you clearly see it, and you can identify this from your childhood as what's called a chub toad.
Or as we like to refer to them back in grade school, chodes.
Actually, this is something I pulled from old lore of Magic the Gathering. I thought was really cool. They actually have frog monsters in D&D, but I like chub toads because there's this nursery rhyme that goes, it's for children, and it says, chub toad, at your door, run away quick or you'll run no more. Right? Isn't that cool? It's a way to terrify little kids with frogs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what Dad used to tell us every night before we went to bed.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's what he told you?
play with my chub toad. No,
What the hell did he tell you?
Jesus, this is a weird
He
family.
gave me nightmares every night.
You
He
wanna go
wasn't
get
the
some
nice
smokes,
paladin
Dad?
he is now then.
You want to go out for a pack of smokes, Dad? Please.
Yeah. So this thing is jumping towards me?
Mm-mm. It jumped at Rachel. It missed. She was dexterous, but you need to make another dex save because you're standing in goop.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Think of these as ball bearings.
I got a 12.
Hey, you win. Ball bearings only need a 10. This is just it's a difficult thing for you to deal with. Think of it as being constantly on ball bearings, yeah?
Okay.
Being in this goop sauce.
Gross.
Okay.
Being in goopy ball bearings takes me back to your mother and I's honeymoon. And that's another thought for another time. Sorry.
I just got a
Oh.
message from Rachel from what seems like a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Sorry, I just got it. I had muted this so I wouldn't pick up on the mic. Okay, so everyone can go ahead and roll initiatives. D-Walk, you don't get to roll initiatives yet. You're not there.
All right, cool.
But you can roll it and save it, I guess. I just
Oh.
wanted to be negative about it.
That's fine. I mean, it's not like you're like putting me in a PTSD from damage like Rachel does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're about to get a frog headbutt, and it's going to suck.
I got a 19.
Okay.
I got a rock. 7.
Okay, so it's going to go Rachel, frogs, multiple, chub toads, and then Nate. And then D-Walk, what did you get?
16, sir.
Okay. So then after a bit, it'll go Rachel, D-Walk, Toads, Nate. Nate is slower than Jelly Toads. Okay. Rachel, go ahead.
Okay.
There's you can see one and then a bunch of series of eyes around you.
All right. So I'm going to use my attack to pull up my short sword and attack it with that first.
Okay.
I don't think a 9 hits it.
It does not.
Okay. Then I'd like to use my bonus action to make an unarmed strike against it. So I'm going to try to punch it.
Okay.
Does a 21 punch it?
Yes. The 21 punches the frog.
Okay. I punch it for 10 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then I would like to use my extra attack to hit it with my sword.
Okay.
Attempt to hit it with my sword. 19 to hit.
Hits.
8 piercing damage.
You impale the frog or the toad right through what looks like the kind of flat, sinewy part of its head.
Mhm.
And it goes through and then it just drops into the goop below.
Gross.
When that happens, the frogs or the toads around get incredibly loud. They start making a lot of noise, and you start to realize that there's probably more of them than you thought. D-Walk, you will be able to approach and get into the area this turn if you want, but if you can run if you want and get it all the way into the room, or you can walk gingerly, because at some point during your walk, the sludge will begin on the walkway. So it's a risk. You can run, and I'll make you take a dex check, and if you fail, you could fall, or you could walk.
They got it till I get there.
Okay. So
in
you're just he's just walking through the sludge gingerly, like, anyone say this is kind of like Jello? Like melted
Dude.
Jello, or maybe a booger? Maybe like a booger thing?
These shoes were prime when I bought them 3 years ago.
Oh, they're going to be fucked up now, man.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so let's see how many frogs we're going to get. Oh, my God.
No, no.
All right. So we're just going to roll all the frogs independently. So it's 1 on Rachel. It's 2 on Rachel. So what's your AC? The first 2 for sure hit, by the way.
18.
Oh, okay. All right, and then on Nate. Fuck you, Nate. This frog critted. Critted Nate. What's your AC, Nate?
18.
Okay, 2 hits on Rachel and a frog crit on Nate. So let's do the frog crit first because that's funny.
Hey, Pops, don't croak.
Yeah.
It's
Remind me to
going
slap you when we're done with this.
It is going to bite you, and it's going to deal 10 damage on a crit, frog crit.
All right.
Okay, Rachel, then you had 2 hits on you.
Mhm.
7 damage from one. Okay. What? 7 damage from the other.
Okay.
Sorry about that. That was that was really hard rolls for you guys. It was a crit on you, and then you got max damage
All right.
twice. It'll be Nate's turn now, right?
Yeah, I believe that is correct. All right.
You can see there are now 8 frogs up around you.
Fantastic.
We hope you enjoyed listening to The Mask and the Mechanism. It is a custom game by me. Thank you so much. Our cast includes me as that guy who isn't in this game. And also 3 other people who are assholes to me pretty much the entire time. And a frog who is going to be everyone's favorite character. His name is Gregarious Pete, and he's a frog. If you'd like to support us, consider donating on Patreon. That's patreon.com/freelance_heroism. And there'll be more episodes and shit. You'll love it. Hey. I'm being probed by aliens.
No.
No? Did you say no? Like in a weird way? Don't be weird about it.